My name is Corey Williams, and I am the president of Family First Life Genesis here in St. Louis. And this is our most recent tutorial over the John Hancock Vitality Program. The John Hancock program does not have anything in place for you to do a sample application, but I will walk you through what the application looks like. But if you're new to FFL, or you're seasoned vet and you've gone through any applications at all through some of their competitors, you will find this application is very simple, very quick, very easy to get through. We're putting this tutorial together, to help new agents get through the process as quickly as they possibly can, reduce some of that fear and timidity that you may have when you're in the home, and so that you can educate yourself on to what these products are, what they offer, what they can do for you and your clients as you get started. So you're going to see a cursor flashing on the left-hand side of the screen. Again, we're just going to hit some major highlights and then walk you through a couple of different ways to find quotes, and then take you up through the questions on the application and then get you into the application. Again, John Hancock, to my knowledge, does not have a dummy application like some of their competitors do. But again, this application is so simple, it's probably not even necessary. So this product, the John Hancock Vitality product, goes up to $500,000 simplified issue, which is fantastic, which means you're going to find out right there on the spot whether that client is accepted or declined. Saves you time, saves the client time, and allows you to pivot if you needed to. It is one of our carriers that pays top compensation. So as an example, if you're at 110% comp, and that's what your pay level is, when you write the application, that's what you're going to receive from John Hancock is top compensation. Daily pay, which is amazing. So you write an application, within a day or two, you're going to actually receive the deposit within your account. So that's pretty nice. They take credit cards, debit cards, checking and saving accounts in reference to banking. Just a quick pro tip here. I highly recommend that you try to stay away from credit and debit cards. Credit and debit cards do cancel, bank accounts don't. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Return of premium is at 75%, and the policy can be canceled, and there is cash value in the fourth year of the policy. That is a little different from their competitors, but also keep in mind that a lot of the competitors to John Hancock are offering 100% return of premium. So again, quick pro tip, if you're a new agent, make sure you don't run out there and tell people they're going to get 100% of their money back. It is 75%. Now, in reference to the return of premium, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes, when you're working on the application, this application is so smart that it will actually tell you what level of coverage that the person could have. So if you're looking for $500,000 with return of premium and you're trying to do it in 30 years, maybe because of that person's age, they can only get 25. The application will show you that, and the quoting tool. It's pretty neat. Even though marijuana is becoming more prevalent throughout the states, some states still don't recognize it as a legal drug, if you will. They don't even ask the question. So you don't have to worry about that if you run into that situation with one of their competitors. They're very good with Crohn's disease. So if you run into somebody that has Crohn's disease and that's their major ailment, obviously John Hancock will be favorable for them. They will also write hepatitis A, B, and C. They're very good with insulin-dependent diabetics, which you will run into a lot. So this is a fantastic carrier for that. Think about being able to write up to $500,000 of simplified issue on someone that has that's a diabetic. Obviously needs to be controlled and all that, but that's for a different video. Your client can get up to 15% off their annual rate if they participate in the John Hancock Vitality Program, which we're going to briefly talk about. Now, I actually have an Apple Watch. Now you can get a couple of Garmin, Apple, a couple of different ones, but I'm an Apple fan. So I actually have the Apple Watch. And when I go to the gym, or I use their what's called Healthy Savings Program, which I'll show you here in a minute, it actually will take, it's a points program that will actually reduce your annual premium as well, which is kind of neat just for being healthy. As of this video being made last week, FFL brought on 1,140 agents. So you can imagine across the country with all the other IMOs and companies bringing on agents, it takes a while to contract. I can tell you recently I talked to one of their reps, and they're saying 3 to 5 weeks to get appointed. I've had reps come in, new agents come in and get appointed as quickly as 2 weeks. I've had some like myself that took a couple of months. So you don't want to run make a mad dash if you're not going to use this carrier and try to get set up with them, but it is a great resource to have. I'm going to spend a few minutes here in a moment going over the 18 questions very briefly, just explaining to you where to find that so that you can actually educate yourself on what the questions are before you fill the application out. That's probably one of the coolest parts of their website that we're going to go to here in a moment. The application process is very quick, probably going to take you less than 10 minutes, 8 to 10 minutes to complete the application. And again, this is a simplified issue program, which means you're going to find out right there on the spot. No urine, no height, no weight, nobody poking at them, coming out and taking their blood pressure, no, those kind of things. And then you can write up to $500,000 worth of coverage. And this is pretty neat with an unlimited number of applications. So what that means is you could have 5 $100,000 policies on one client. You could have 2 $250,000. You could have 3 $100,000 and 2, 3 $100,000 and 1 $200,000 programs, whatever you want to do, but it cannot exceed $500,000. Again, simplified issue. So what I'm going to do now is click on this link, and it's going to take us to the John Hancock website, which is pretty cool. jhsimpleterm.com. If you look at the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to see home, get a quote, etc. All right. We're simply going to go, I'm just going to slide down the page for now and just hit a couple highlights. They've recently made some adjustments to how they're doing the underwriting. So these enhanced underwriting acceptance rates is going to make it easy for you to get your clients set up. We've already mentioned diabetes, so they've expanded that. So it makes it easier for you to get clients with that are diabetic approved. Disability, cancer, they've actually relaxed their MVR a little bit as well. So these things make it simpler. They make it easier for you to help get your clients approved, which is what we're looking for, right? Again, top left-hand portion of the screen, just as I mentioned before, Simple Term with Vitality is a great product. It's instant underwriting. You find out right there on the spot. $500,000, 30-year term duration, return of premium. Remember, it's 75%. And then we talked about, briefly discussed the John Hancock Vitality Program. All right. So from there, what I'm going to click on now is product. So let's do a little bit of detailed digging here. So product details, instant decision, 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30-year duration. Your client must be between the ages of 20 and 60. And the two classes are tobacco and non-tobacco. Pretty simple, right? Minimum policy of $25,000, maximum up to $500,000 or $500,000, return of premium, which we just talked about, and then the Vitality Program for discounts, etc. Okay. Now we're going to go return of premium rider. As I mentioned, the application is smart, so it's not going to let you quote something that you shouldn't. So as a new agent, you don't have to worry about that or have that fear. The application and the quoting tool is going to keep you in line. So again, 25 or 30-year return of premium. Remember, the return of premium is at 75%. The policy earns cash value and starts to earn significant cash value in year 4. That's different than a lot of their competitors, where you don't really see any major cash value into the latter portion of that program. Again, we've talked about that already, 75% return of premium. And of course, they can still get cash back. They're eligible for that before the policy turns at either the 25 or 30 year if they're doing return of premium. Okay. And if they pass away, of course, their family would get the tax-free death benefit. All right. Vitality, I'm going to cover this very quickly. As you can see on the screen, that first highlighted dot there, receive up to 15% in premium cash back based on being healthy. So they have the healthy savings card that will come in the mail to your client. By going to the store, you swipe the card when they're buying vegetables, or they'll actually send an email to you, which is showing you what you could get points for going to the store and making healthy choices. It's pretty neat. As I mentioned, I'm an Apple user. I'm a big Apple fan. So the Apple Watch, there's a couple of different Garmin and a couple of different ones that you can get as well. Fitbit, but it's a pretty neat program. And then, they get an email, which they can click on, put their information in, and it walks them through the program. It's really neat. I use it on a daily basis, and I'm sure I'll be getting some discounts on my premiums here at the end of the year. All right. So let's go to training. So take some time just to go through and read this stuff. It's not, in major detail or anything like that. Just goes through, it takes you through some very simple things that you can read to educate yourself on the Vitality program, educate yourself on, kind of the underwriting guide, what they're looking for, et cetera, because it'll make your job much easier. Once you got the stuff, you study it one time, you got it, right? But what I'm going to take you to next is the training material. So I just clicked on training material. You should see the blue line there. And where it says view 18 medical questions, that's what I'm going to click on to download. So this is the actual application that you will see when you're working with your client. Now, so you don't get tripped up if you're new, you only need to put the information in where there's asterisks. So where you see that reddish orangish box, you see it says first name, there's an asterisk, but middle name there isn't. So if they don't have a middle name or you don't want to put the middle name in there, that's okay. So you can see Larry Roberts is the client, female. I don't know why they made Larry a female, but that's okay. You can see the address information there, the email. That's going to be important for the Vitality program, right? Their date of birth, social security number. And as you can see, if you've gone through any application so far, pretty standard stuff, nothing difficult here. They're going to ask what country they were born, city, state, zip, driver's license number, if they're employed or not. If they're employed, they're going to ask you what their occupation is, their citizenship, their annual income. Now, I'm not going to read through all these questions, but they are very, very simple questions. No different than you would look at on any other application, but they keep it very simple. That's how you get through the application so quickly and able to get your client put together. So just going to briefly scroll through this. Again, you can go out to the website, pull this information up, familiarize yourself with the questions they're going to ask. But as they get into the beneficiary medical questions, that's even very simple as well. Beneficiary, you can see first and last name. You do not need the middle. Email, the percentage of that beneficiary, your client's relationship to that beneficiary. Obviously, don't need the social and all that. And you get to the bottom here, if you needed to add another beneficiary, you simply click that button to add another beneficiary and complete the information. Again, pretty basic stuff. Now you start getting into the medical questions. So you can see the first one there is if they're a tobacco user, driving, health questions. You see, it's pretty standard stuff. You click yes to something, then what it's going to do is open up another tier of questions. And then you just simply click on those, click the buttons for those. It's very simple. And if the person's declined, it's just going to tell you right here on the spot that they're declined. So you don't have to waste time going over an entire application that you're just going to be declined for and all that kinds of stuff. It's pretty simple stuff. You can see it's asking here. This one is asking 10 years. So it'll ask for the duration of time for certain for certain things. And then in reference to payment, you can see it's going to ask the question here. If they want to start later, you would simply click the box and then put the date in. Again, another pro tip here, I highly recommend that you do not use credit card or debit. If you can stay away from it, use their banking information. And when you come out here, this stuff won't be opened up. There'll be a little link that'll ask you for the banking information. When you click on it, this will then open up. When you get to the real live application, you'll see it. It's pretty self-explanatory. So you're going to continue, review, and then e-sign. It's very simple. You're going to click the button, type the information in, like literally type it in, and everything will come up. So you can see this person, they've got a tentative, Larry's got a tentative policy number there. And it's also going to show his email, his monthly premium, his coverage amount, his duration, and his beneficiary. All right. A couple of other little minor things to do. And then what happens is you can see all the information here. Then it's going to ask for the proposed insured to sign. Again, it is a typed signature. So once that signature is typed in and you hit continue, it's going to spin for a couple seconds and make sure that everything is good. And if they're approved, it's going to approve them. It's going to say congratulations. And again, policy number, policy holder, if you will, email address, monthly premium, coverage type, duration of the program, and the beneficiaries. And then they will email the information, the welcome stuff, policy information to that client. When the client gets the email, it's going to have in the email for them to activate the Vitality program. So they can click on that, and that's when they can get there, select what watch they want, and all that kind of stuff. And the watch actually comes pretty quickly. All right. So next, what I want to show you guys is I'm going to go to what we use as FFL-Go to get into the quoting and all that. So if I click on John Hancock and I click on the quoting tool, it's going to take you out here to this screen. Now I would have to put my social security number in to do that, but it's very simple. You're going to click on that. You're going to put your social in. You're going to pick your state. And when you hit submit, it's going to take you out to the actual application, right? Which I've already pre-put into the system. So you guys don't see my social. That'd be silly, right? So here's the actual application. Very simple. It's going to pull in my name because I've already put my information in the system. So it's pulled my agent code, my email, my phone number. And then for time's sake, even though it's not going to let you go through the application, I just want to show you a couple quick things. So we're going to call this person Tess Jones. And put an email in there for Mr. Jones. We say his birthday is January 1st of 1975. We're going to put an address in here for Mr. Jones. Beautiful city of St. Louis. And put a phone number in here for Mr. Jones here. Make him a male. And then coverage amount. Let's say $500,000. And we're going to say 30 years. We're going to say he's non-tobacco. And we're going to say return to premium. So when I hit yes to return to premium, you can see that gray bar that says get estimate, for some reason, it did not turn green or blue for me to actually be able to run the quote. So something's wrong, right? But for some reason, it's not telling you. If I go back and check 25, now you can see that line is, it's modified itself. And now I can actually pull that quote up. So just wanted to show you, that's one of the main things. I don't want you to get tripped up when you're in a home or you're running a quote for someone, because if you didn't know that, then you'd be sitting there trying to figure out what's going on with the application, right? So 25 years based on Mr. Jones's information, his age, that's the maximum he qualifies for, is a 25-year link program. So now I'm going to click on Get Estimate. I'm going to click on Get Estimate. It's going to spin for a second, and then it's going to pull up the information based off of what we put in for Mr. Tess Jones. So a $500,000 policy, $250,000 policy. So it's $280.19 a month. It's 25-year in duration for $250,000 worth of coverage return of premium. Okay. If I wanted to take the return of premium off, I simply just come up here, say no, get an estimate. It's going to do its thing. And just that quickly, you can see it's already changed it. $144.28 a month, 25-year plan for $250,000. So if everything is square there, we're going to hit start application. It's going to do its thing. It's going to spin, and then it's going to take all the information that we've already put in and put it into the application so you don't have to reduplicate that. Now, the first thing I do when I'm working on writing John Hancock with the client is I just look to the left just to make sure that everything is accurate before I start going through the information again. So you can see first name Tess, no middle name, last name Jones. Mr. Jones is a male. We've got all of his information that's pre-moved all the way in from the other page. We can simply confirm his email address here in the center of the screen. His date of birth is already tracked from the other application. And this is where we would have to put Social Security in, all that other information, just as I showed you on the dummy app from the John Hancock site. And this is all the information I showed you just a few minutes ago that you would have to enter in. Agent signature, you would merely type your information in. Type the information in. And now if I were, of course, to hit continue, it's not going to allow us to, because I haven't answered any of the questions. And then when you get to the end, just like I showed you a few moments ago, your client will type their information in and it will send everything to them via email. This is a pretty neat application. Very simple, great company, very responsive in reference to, finding out if somebody's accepted or termed or accepted or not, and that kind of stuff. So very briefly, just as a recap, $500,000 simplified issue. It's one of the top carriers in reference to your compensation. We're paid daily by them, so that's obviously really nice. Credit card, debit card, checking, and savings is how your client can pay. Again, pro tip, highly recommend you stick to checking and savings. Return of premium up to 75%. And then there's some significant cash value in these programs at year 4 that you could actually, or your client could take out. They are okay with marijuana usage. Don't even ask the question. They're good with Crohn's disease, hepatitis A, B, and C, good with people that are insulin dependent diabetics. Of course, if somebody wants to use the Vitality program, it's a very good one. I actually participate in it. Average turnaround time to get appointed as a new agent is about 3 to 5 weeks, give or take a week or so. We just covered the 18 questions that they'll ask in the application. And again, you can go back to the John Hancock application or website, if you will, to be able to go through and read through all those questions so you can educate yourself. Application takes about 8 to 10 minutes, which you can see it doesn't take very long to get through. And you can have an infinite number of policies written as long as it does not exceed $500,000. Again, my name is Corey Williams, president of Family First Life Genesis. If you're looking for an opportunity, if somehow you stumbled through this video and you're not an agent or teammate here with us at FFL, you can reach us at our website at joinfflgenesis.com. Again, joinfflgenesis.com, or you can reach out to me directly at 314-323-2220. Again, 314-323-2220. And we are hiring nationwide. Thanks for your time. Hopefully this is beneficial to you, and bye for now.